Today, we will be taking a look at the 5th chapter of Lao Tzu's classic Tao Te Ching. We will read 3 different translations and follow with some discussion. One version reads, "Heaven and earth do not act from the impulse of any wish to be benevolent. They deal with all things as the dogs of grass are dealt with. The sages do not act from any wish to be benevolent. They deal with the people as the dogs of grass are dealt with. May not the space between heaven and earth be compared to a bellows? 'Tis emptied, yet it loses not its power. 'Tis moved again, and sends forth air the more. Much speech to swift exhaustion lead we see. Your inner being guard and keep it free." Another version reads, "But for heaven and earth's humaneness, the 10,000 things are straw dogs. But for the holy man's humaneness, the 100 families are straw dogs. Is not the space between heaven and earth like unto a bellows? It is empty, yet it collapses not. It moves, and more comes forth. How soon exhausted is a gossip's fulsome talk? And should we not prefer on the middle path to walk?" And finally, a third reads, "Heaven and earth are not like humans. They are impartial. They regard all things as insignificant, as though they were playthings made of straw. The wise man is also impartial. To him all men are alike and unimportant. The space between heaven and earth is like a bellows. It is empty, but does not collapse. It moves, and more issues. A gossip is soon empty. It is doubtful if he can be impartial." Lao Tzu began by speaking about the fact that nature is impartial towards all things. All of the creatures and all of the constituents of the universe are treated equally by nature. In a way, it is like a machine. It is unaware of the effects of its actions. It does not therefore care that creatures kill one another, that storms and natural disasters destroy human dwellings and cities, that wildfires engulf forests, that the winter annihilates what has grown in the spring and the summer. It is pointed to that the sage has the same indifferent outlook as nature. They do not treat specific people or phenomena as better or as worse than others. They have, in a sense, suspended judgment and see reality as it is without projecting their opinions or their beliefs onto it. In the next part of the chapter, Lao Tzu refers to the space between heaven and earth. In this section, he seems to be amazed by the size of the sky upward and out into space, by this infinity which we all inhabit. He is intrigued that so many species of plants and animals have come forth from nature, that the cycles of life are even happening in the first place. Seasons change, the sun rises and sets, the moon cycles, animals eat plants, eat each other, and reproduce all at the same time. He finds all of this astonishing. The chapter is finished with another nod toward the idea that words can never fully explain the Tao. The words which have been spoken thus far in the book have been beautiful, they've been clever, useful, and they have pointed us in the right direction. But at the end of the day, they are only words. These words will never point directly to reality and what is being intended. Rather, they seem to take us around it. Lao Tzu wants us to trust ourselves, in a state of inner silence, for if we focus too much on what we have learned and on our thoughts, we may just miss what has been right in front of us the whole time.